Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our normal background. I am home in Mexico, Madame Yard, and I feel so good to come back and really sit and rap with y'all for a little bit. I wanted to talk about me leaving Mexico, some reasons I have kind of mulling over in my head, why I want to leave Mexico, and what that might look like. I spoke about this in my last video, but I didn't really talk about it in such a way that, I spoke about it at the end, just kind of like a little rant, a little byline, a little by the way. And so I wanted to tap in once more just for all the people who maybe you didn't watch that video because the title and the thumbnail wasn't really your video and you didn't even know therefore that little rant was at the end of the video. I want to loop y'all in because this is an important topic to me, and I feel like my YouTube family is truly my sounding board these days. A lot of y'all give so very good advice, and me not reaching away in a life yet. A lot of y'all have lived even more than I have. So I love when I share certain topics with y'all and you tap in. So that's what I'm doing in this video. I'm sharing some reasons why I'm thinking of leaving Mexico, and I want us to have a discussion in the comments. If you're new here, allow me to reintroduce myself. I realize that I am so bad at actually introducing myself and my videos every time I come to talk to y'all, because a few people actually did recognize me in Jamaica. They came up to me and they didn't know my name. They didn't know what to call me. They didn't know the name of the channel, nothing like that. They were just like, are you the girl that live in Mexico? So yes, that's me. My name is Monique, the traveling Jamaican daughter. And on this channel, I do talk about my journey of leaving Jamaica to live in Mexico, how I got here, why I got here, how I do life with just me and my daughter, because there's a two-way trad road. And on this channel, I want to encourage you all, maybe not to follow in my footsteps if you have no reason or need or desire to leave your country and move abroad, but more so the wider topic of living more. That's what I really want to encourage everybody on this channel to do, is to live more. Put in the adjective that you want behind the word more. Live more better, live more broader, live more freer, live more whatever it is, live more life. I knew I wanted to live unconventionally from a very young age, from in my very early 20s, and I set out on a path to do that. It hasn't always been easy. Clearly I have bucked up in enough roadblocks, but yes, it has been fulfilling. It has been worth it. Look where it brought me. I'm living in Mexico and I'm actually really loving it, but I am thinking of leaving. So let us get into the video. Last year, when I had only been living in Mexico for a year at this time, I went back to Jamaica for the summer. My daughter, she went off to spend the summer with her father, and I just went to Jamaica by myself, living my best life, no responsibilities, nothing to think of. It was just this fun grand vacation. And I loved it. And I will tell you that I fell in love with Jamaica all over again, because remember, I didn't really leave Jamaica for any specific reason. I wasn't running from anything. Yes, Jamaica has its problems. Jamaica is expensive. Jamaica has crime. Jamaica has all the things that you might be considering leaving America for, or wherever you're watching this video from. And so, but I wasn't necessarily running from those things. I just kind of had always been work from home person way before it was a thing, because of the grand we all know. And so I was just like trapped to this desk in my home in Jamaica, and I'm like, I have the perfect opportunity to go travel the world. Why am I not taking that? And so Mexico was supposed to be our first stop, and I just came here and stopped. And I'm just like, wait. So when I went back to Jamaica last year, I realized that I didn't intend to just move. I wasn't trying to move to another country. I wanted to travel more. As I said, Mexico was supposed to be stop number one, and then we were supposed to move on and do this kind of nomad thing and travel the world and go from country to country. But I came to Mexico and I set up shop, and I said, okay, maybe I can make Mexico my home base. Because at the time when we just landed in Mexico, I had my parents with me, and so I am 41, so my parents are up in their age, and I had my teenage daughter with me. So I decided to stop because I didn't think everybody in that lineage there could manage traveling the world, like just getting up every 3 months and say, all right, new country. And then I, of course, was the one funding everything. And boy, for 4 people on my plate, one was, I don't know why I decided to take up all of that by my head top right there. So like, that was crazy. So, okay, so I stopped. I paused in Mexico and I said, let me set up home base here because it's affordable enough where I can rent a home and do all the things. I could definitely not rent a home in Jamaica and still travel. Like, that was crazy. Like, there was no way I was gonna keep up both lifestyles. But I thought I could do it in Mexico. I could set up shop here. My parents could live. Maybe I could do some solo trips and my parents would watch my daughter for me, and I would go off sometimes. Sometimes she would come off with me. Sometimes me and my mom would go off. So I had this grand setup in my head. That was really what I was thinking. So I set up shop and I said, all right, cool. That didn't work out because the strain of having 4 people on my plate immediately, because when I was in Jamaica, it was just me and my daughter. So I come to Mexico, it's 4 people. I guess I didn't really calculate, oh, that didn't work. I really didn't do the math properly, and the math did not math. Also, my parents do not get along. But having to live under one roof exacerbated that a lot, like a lot. We won't get into it, but it was crazy in that house. So I was just like, guys, this cannot work. Go on the yard. Like I packed them up and I sent them home and I said, toodles, thank y'all for coming along, but it's time for me and Munchkin to go on this journey by ourselves. And so my parents went home to Jamaica last year, and then I came back to Mexico and I said, you know what, I love Jamaica. Maybe I should go home too, because at that point in time, the money never fixed back yet. The money never fixed back yet from having all 4 people on my plate. And I was just like, maybe I should go back to Jamaica, get a job, and try this again in another country at some other time. But I do have a very good friend here in Mexico, and she was like, no, girl, what you mean? You're not even start your Mexico journey yet, which she was absolutely right. And so I said, okay, fine, I'll stay. I'll give Mexico a go now that it's just me and Munchkin. And so that was the plan. That took a while to actually like get back my footing here in Mexico. So there was no whole heap of travels or anything going on like I wanted to do here in Mexico. The big Mexico adventure still not kick off yet. So I went back home to Jamaica this year. One of the reasons why my father had to go back home was because of his health. It was becoming a little bit too much for me to manage, for my mom to manage, because my mom is a trigger for him, and he had just started to like develop dementia, I think. And so now it's been another year has passed, it's developing further, and he needs specialized help. And I thought, okay, after this trip back home, I said, maybe I should go home permanently and be the administrator for him, because there is nobody solidly in your corner, hopefully, like a child, like your child, right? And so I said, you know, he is with family now, but it's hard on everybody. It's gonna be hard on everybody. So I said, let me take on that burden. But the reality is that I do have a daughter as well. So it's not me giving up on this Mexico dream, it's me and her. And she does not want to go back to Jamaica, and I don't want to force her to. Also, I don't know what being the administrator for my father will look like. Will it be that I'm going back to Jamaica and have him live with us? That terrifies me, because I don't know what his triggers are completely. I don't know if I will be on the road one day and he does something to my daughter. I don't know if he'll do something to me. I don't know what trips him up, and I don't know if I'm prepared to start taking on that journey. If it was just me and me and him in the house is one thing, but I'm terrified of going back and him doing something to my child. Like, more trip, my every chip, that not gonna work. That not gonna work at all. So that's the crossroad that I am right now. There is another spoke in the wheel. Like, I don't want to say that it's because of my father that's the only reason I'm reconsidering going back to Jamaica. The fact is that I love Jamaica, I love living in Jamaica, and I kind of wanted to go back myself anyway. I did last year when I went back, I said, I realized that it's not that I wanted to move anywhere and fall back into the exact same routines that I had at home in Jamaica. And that's what I did. Like, Munchkin goes to school, I'm working from home, on the weekends we go. I'm in the exact same routine that I was in Jamaica, and that was not my intention. We were supposed to be on this grand adventure. I realized that if I'm going to have routine when I'm home doing the mundane things, I want it to be in Jamaica. My friends are there. My romantic prospects, if any, are there. Let's compare what that is. I have a video that I'll link up in the top here that talks about me being single at 41 and not necessarily looking, because I realized that I only have a few more years left before my daughter goes off to college, and I don't want to kind of mix. The bottom line is, no man never live with me and my daughter. Like, that's just the bottom line. So even if I do get into a romantic situation, I'm not looking for anything serious enough where I'm about to move into a house with someone right this moment. Like, I need a couple years, but I can go into something long distance, or I can even do a relationship where I live here and you live here, so, and we come together on the weekends, or you know what I mean. You know what a relationship is. I can do a relationship. I just don't intend to live with a man right now, not while my daughter is in this stage of her life. And so that's cool, right? So my romantic prospects are in Jamaica, or maybe they're somewhere else too, but they're not in Mexico. Like, I've been here 2 years now, I know that for sure. Or maybe I just have not been looking at the right places at all. But it's kind of dire. Like, I've said this on a few videos before. If you're coming to Mexico, specifically to Merida, to try and find a hookup, I bet you're going to Playa del Carmen or Mexico City, where it's a bigger city, a bigger melting pot, a bigger everything. Mexico City. Merida is not the place to come and find your husband unless, I don't know what the unless is, because it's not working out for me. So, and every time I go home to Jamaica, you know, the romantic prospects pop up them head, and I'm like, hey, and I'm like feeling it. And then so those are the two big pulls why I actually do want to go back to Jamaica, is because it does get lonely here in Mexico. And I do want to get hooked up and hitched at some point in life. So I need to start doing the groundwork from now, you know what I mean? And also, my friends are there, and every time I go back home, the friendships deepen a little bit more, and I feel like I'm setting us back when I leave. Setting us back, what I mean by that is that when I had just moved from Jamaica, friendships were a big deal for me, meaning that when I was feeling lonely for friends when I had just left Jamaica, because the friend group that I had in my like 20s and maybe early 30s, they started to like, life really started to life and fling them all about this globe. And so a lot of them live abroad, some of them live in the country areas of Jamaica, so I don't see them as often as I'd like. And so my little friend group, they kind of gone all over the place, and I was looking around like, but my mom got somebody sat there, who can I call? Which girlfriend can I call to go to the bar with? And the prospects were looking pretty thin. And when I had left, I had just started to integrate into a whole new friend group. And so I was just like, I don't want to leave yet, because this feels good. I finally have a friend group again. So every time I go, that's what I mean when I say this, the relationships deepen. Because, you know, by now you'd think I'd have a friend group that is pretty solid, and no matter where you are, we're still friends. Those friendships are still in place, but then they are firing. they're far flung all about the place. So I had just started developing relationships with new friends, and every time I go back, that feels good. That level of community, it feels so good. And it's definitely missing here, because it's Mexico. I would have to build it all over again here, and that groundwork it's started, but it hasn't really started, if you know what I mean. So I have one good friend here, so it's just maybe I should just go back to Jamaica and make life easier for me. So that's been a consideration. So it's not, so I say all of that to say that it's not like I want to go back to Jamaica just to help my father out. I do kind of want to go back to Jamaica too, but it's not very pressing for me. Like, I feel like if I can set up home base here and go back to Jamaica 3 times a year, and I'd be good. I personally would be good with that, because as I said, I have more loyalty to my daughter right now, and she doesn't want to go back to Jamaica. So if everything else barring, if my father wasn't an issue and she said she don't want to go back, I'd say fine, that's fine, we can stay here, because it's not like I hate Mexico, I love it here. So we can stay here and I'll go back to Jamaica maybe every Christmas. I already go every summer, maybe every Easter, and I feel like I'd be real good. I think those are the two main reasons why I'm saying, is it time to leave Mexico? Should I go back to strengthen my social relationships? Should I go back to take care of my father? Now, a couple of you guys have watched the last video to the end, and you saw the rant at the end of the video, and you've already weighed in and said, no girl, what you do, stay in Mexico, live your life, do what you can do to like maybe help put your father in a home, get him some professional help, because dementia ain't no joke, and it's not like there's a cure and he's going to get better. It's probably going to keep progressing. I might be able to slow it somewhat, but it's probably going to keep progressing, and it's not something that I can manage, certainly not on my own and with a teenage daughter. I've taken a lot of that advice because it's coming from other places as well. A lot of people are saying, no girl, what you do? So I'm just like, okay. And when I came back home to my yard here in Mexico, I kind of let out a big sigh, just like, yeah man, they're warm. Like, I think I'm so fortunate to have two places in the world now where I completely call home. I think Mexico is home for me, and Jamaica me yard. So I'm just like, okay. The other problem is it's so hard to find adequate care. I mean, it's so hard to find adequate care anywhere, because if he was in the US, it would have cost me an arm and a leg. In Jamaica, it's probably not going to cost me as much, but it's even harder to find dementia care in Jamaica. And it's not like I can immediately take that on my plate. Anyway, that's kind of why I had eased off the 4 people off my plate and say, yo, this is too much on my little one budget. Like, I need to regroup and rethink this and rethink how I can help all y'all out while still continuing to live my life. So those are the reasons why I am considering actually leaving Mexico. It has nothing to do with Mexico. I hope you were not thinking that this was going to be a trash Mexico video. Those are just the personal things that are going on in my life that I am just thinking about relocating back home and saying, all right, let me continue to do the travel thing, but from home as much as I can. What do y'all think? Should I, because maybe I can move back to Jamaica and still put my father in a home, but I'm at least there to be the main one who goes to visit him, takes him groceries or whatever he may need, make sure he gets his medicine. So I can still be the administrator and I'm close enough. I mean, that's probably an excuse too, because my mother has offered to do that, as much as they don't get along. You know, she doesn't hate him and he doesn't hate her, and I'm just, I know what I mean. So, yeah, she has offered to do that. She is in Jamaica. So it does sound like I kind of want to go. I'm trying not to be selfish here, but it does sound like I want to go back for me and my personal reasons. And I have to be looking into myself like, are you sure about these reasons? Like, can you, like, yeah, no. Don't follow something that isn't even there, is what I'm saying to myself in my head. And so I know that I'm good to stay in Mexico for the next 3 to 4 years if I have to, for my munchkin. But yeah, all right, I don't want to start repeating myself and rambling on now. So what do you guys think? You've heard all I have to say, the reasons why I'm considering leaving Mexico. What are your thoughts? Let me know. This is Monique, the traveling Jamaican daughter. Guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I have a long list of topics to come on here and talk to y'all about. I'm gonna want on advice. I'm gonna want to tappy and subscribe to the channel. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one.